Excuse me, Randy. Oh, hello. Didn't know you guys were going to be here today. I've been out foraging, and I got a nice little bowl here of, some people call this old man's beard. We like to refer to it here at the schoolie as Usnea. U-S-N-E-A, Usnea. This is a wild lichen. I've been out foraging. I didn't know you guys want to be here. It's perfect timing, because I went out and gathered this Usnea from the pine trees here outside the schoolie where we're parked at in the San Francisco Peaks Wilderness in northern Arizona. And I was going to come in here and make a Usnea tincture. Right. That's great. I'm glad you guys are here. Well, welcome to Forgotten Wisdom. And we're back in the schoolie kitchen, and you're just in time to learn how to make an Usnea tincture. This is going to be an alcohol tincture that is going to be very top tier, pharmaceutical grade. And man, I've made this for so many years, and I've been practicing herbalism and natural health for over 35 years. And I know that this is Usnea. There is no poisonous lookalike, so you don't have to worry about the toxicity or nothing like that. And this grows wild in certain locations where it's moist, and it looks like kind of like a small Spanish moss that hangs from the trees. And this here is a lichen moss, and it has such great medicinal properties. Before I show you how to make the tincture, let's talk about what Usnea, what is it used for? Now, this is my disclaimer. YouTube says I have to have a disclaimer if I'm going to talk about anything that's health related. And this is my disclaimer. I am not giving you any medical advice. This is for your education only. Anytime you use herbal medicines, make sure you know what you're doing, or you consult with a qualified herbalist. Talk to your doctor first. And if you're pregnant, first talk to someone that knows what they're doing with herbal medicines before you start to take it. Alright, let's talk about what traditionally Usnea and Usnea products, such as the tincture that I'm going to be making today, what it's actually used for. Now, it is a lot of stuff that it can do. One of the most notable things is it's a natural antimicrobial. See, Usnea contains an acid, like an usnic acid, I think that's what it's called, and it shows antibacterial and antifungal activity in labs and studies. So it's definitely an antimicrobial. It's used for immune support. Traditionally, it's used to help the body fight off any kind of respiratory infection and support overall immune response as well. Basically, it makes your immune system so strong that, you know, it does what it's supposed to do, which is pretty much heal you whenever you need it. It's also been used traditionally for respiratory health. I use it for respiratory health myself. Basically, herbalists use it kind of like for soothing coughs. It does work for that. It works for me for that. For soothing sore throats and like bronchial infections. So this is bronchitis. If I had bronchitis, or I had an upper respiratory infection, or even a sinus infection, or some sort of a lung irritation, I would definitely use Usnea for about 7 to 10 days, maybe a little bit longer. And I'd try to get some soothing effects coming from that. I know that it's antifungal. It does show antifungal properties as well. Like applied topically in salves and tinctures, balms for like minor fungal skin infections. It does work for that. It's also anti-inflammatory. It actually may reduce like minor inflammation when it's used externally. Okay, it's been used for wound cleansing, kind of like alcohol. You know, you wash your wound, clean it up. Historically, Usnea is used as a poultice to clean and to protect cuts, scratches, abrasions, things like that. And it works really well for that as well. I have found that it works for me using it like that. I know it also has antioxidant effects. Basically, it contains compounds that can help neutralize free radicals that's in the body. So, I mean, Usnea is a great herb, and you can find this growing on pine trees, pine forest. Here we're in the world's biggest ponderosa pine forest in northern Arizona, and this grows like a wildfire. So basically, this is what you need to do to make your Usnea tincture. Now, I make my tinctures by the quart, and it's best to do that because you're going to go through this once you start realizing how awesome it is. And so we have here a quart jar, and any quart jar will work. This is a recycled, repurposed quart jar. Used to be a mayonnaise jar, and now it's going to be my new tincture brewing jar. This is what you need to do. Now this tincture, this Usnea is very dry, okay? It's not rained here in some time. You want to get your herbs dry. Now what I'm doing now is basically putting the entire Usnea herb into the jar until the jar is about half full. Let me get something to push that down with. Okay. Alright, you want to push it down. Now the goal is to put, if you want to make a very strong pharmaceutical grade Usnea tincture, you want to do about 50-50 ratio. That's a very strong, very medicinal grade tincture, and that is how I do all of my tinctures. The tinctures that we sell at Nomadic Enterprises. Oh, one tried to get away there. Make sure there's nothing on it. The tinctures that we sell at Nomadic Enterprises and over at our eBay store, they are pharmaceutical grade. That means they are bred or brewed, it's about half, for pure medicine. You're not going to just make an herbal tea out of the Usnea. This Usnea tincture, or the Usnea itself, yes, but the tincture, you wouldn't add that to a tea unless you were planning on using it for a medicinal purpose, because it is very strong. Alrighty, and that's the difference between our tinctures that we make underneath the brand name of Bourbon Barrel Apothecary for Forgotten Wisdom at Nomadic Enterprises, and you'll see our websites in the description right down there. Alrighty, and a lot of people who make tinctures that are not pharmaceutical grade, that's the difference. We make medicine, real medicine, and it actually works. Okay, so we have our jar half full. Alright, this is recommended. And what you want to use is an alcohol that is 80 proof or higher. And it doesn't matter what type of alcohol you use. The alcohol pulls the medicinal constituents out of the herb. And so what we have here is a nice large bottle of Evan Williams, and this is actually 86 proof. Okay, this is what I'm going to make my medicinal tincture out of. You can choose to use vodka, a high potency rum. This is how you make a pharmaceutical grade Usnea tincture. Now I'm going to fill the bottle, the jar. It's a pretty heavy bottle there, all the way to where there's a 1-inch headspace. Okay? Alright, so after you do that, make sure, it's kind of like canning. You want to wipe the rim. Make sure your jar is nice and clean. Put the lid on. Make sure the lid fits nice and tight, because you're going to shake this once a day, just like so. When you remember it, if you see it sitting on your shelf and you remember it, just pick it up and give it a shake, something like that once a day. And that way it keeps it moving around, and the medicine will keep extracting out of there. You do not want to put this in sunlight. Store it in a cool, dark place. I put it inside my cabinet. Put a label on this. I usually put a label on here that says what the tincture is. It'll say Usnea, Bourbon Barrel Apothecary, and then there's a date of whenever I made this. So today's date is the 27th of September. I will put that on the label, print my label out, and I will put it on this jar. What you're going to do is shake it once a day, for about the first week. And you're going to let this sit for anywhere from 4 weeks to 6 weeks before you begin to use it. It takes about 4 weeks for it to really do a good job in pulling the medicine out of the herb. And then once that happens, you have a choice. Now, the way we make our tinctures, we want to go after like a very strong potency, a very high pharmaceutical medicinal grade. So we do not strain this until it's time to use it. And we only strain out what we want to use. So what I'm saying is, a lot of people will tell you to strain this after 4 to 6 weeks. And then put the liquid back into the jar, label it, stick it on your apothecary shelf, and discard, compost the spent herb. But what I'm telling you is, the longer you keep this in here, the stronger it's going to be. Okay? And that's what I have discovered over 35 plus years of making medicine for people, friends, and family, and myself. I wild forage for a lot of my herbs. And I have trusted sources where I buy some that I can't get out in the wild here. And I make all of my medicine myself. So this has always worked. It's never let us down. Anytime we need it for something, it's there. So what I do is I leave it in here. I never strain it until I'm getting ready to use it. I only strain out what I want to use. And then I put it into a bottle similar to this. Okay, this is a 4-ounce amber dropper bottle. And you can buy these by the packs on Amazon. Okay. We also sell them at our eBay store and at Nomadic Enterprises website. And it just says Bourbon Barrel Apothecary Usnea and 4 ounces. And then on the back, there's a label that tells you how to use it. And you'll use about 1 dropper full. And you see, I can make it almost completely full. But I would put this into my glass, and then I would get more. And I would put a little bit of that to make a full dropper. Now, a full dropper or 2 twice a day is all you need. Okay? Put it into a glass. Put in your favorite drink. Iced tea, juice. Some people take it straight underneath their tongue. Some people take it in water. But this is how I store what I'm going to use. I will strain out just enough to fill this bottle. And I would leave the rest in here, put it right back into the cabinet. And then when I need more, I'll pull it out, strain some more, put it in here. And what it does, it just continuously keeps that strong. Okay? And that is how you make an herbal tincture. In this case, Usnea, or Old Man's Beard. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you for joining me. And stay tuned to Forgotten Wisdom. If you want to learn how to do more projects like this, have a great day. I'm your host, Spirit Walker. I'll see you again.